Hello all, hope you are doing good. SQL, a structured query language, a language like English. When it comes to the field of data analytics, SQL is the foremost important language that we need to understand clearly because this is the only language that can fetch the information that is stored in a database. Here in this image, you can observe MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2, Oracle, and PostgreSQL. These are different relational database applications which will allow us to store the data in the format of tables. When the data is available in tabular format, it is easy to analyze. Okay, knowing the importance of the SQL for this particular role of a data analyst, we need to have a plan to learn it. We can also learn the concept randomly, but going in order is going to be like a very much helpful task. Next. Here I have provided a clear-cut order to learn this particular SQL. Okay. Visually here you can see that select queries. You should start with writing basic select statements on a database table where we are going to work on a single table by selecting all columns, selecting specific columns, basic filtering and all. Later, we'll try to learn aggregations, getting the total values, average, minimum, maximum values, and grouping the data, where we'll get the department wise how many employees are there, or else date wise how many sales happened, location wise how many customers are there. All this information that we can get, all queries are very, very simpler. Okay. Later, we need to learn the concept of the string functions and the date functions, where I can get the year wise sales. Okay. Where I can track the time series data. Later, the concept of the joins. When it comes to the database designing in relational database systems, it is a common practice to follow the normalization of a database. As a part of the normalization, we distribute the data into different tables in order to get rid of the data redundancy. Okay, when the data is distributed into different database tables, again, if I need the same information into a single table, the concept that helps us is joins concept. Okay, as a part of the concept of joins, we have different types of joins: left join, right join, full join, and again, the concept of self join, which will help us to combine the same table with itself. Later, the concept of subqueries. When I can't fetch some results from the database from a single query, and if I can get the same results using two queries, where first query will wait for the result of the second query, where we use both the queries together to get the ultimate output. This is where the concept of subqueries will be helpful. But when the number of subqueries increase, right, the code becomes more complex and it is not easy to read the particular code. That is where the concept of common table expressions will help us. And it's going to be more simpler than the subqueries. Okay. The later the concept of window functions, important topic in SQL for the roles of a data analyst. You will get questions in interview also, where we'll work with the ranking functions. We'll see some aggregated functions within this. We'll try to understand the advantage of window functions over the group by class. Okay. Again, we'll see some analytical functions like the lead, lag, and all. On top of that, when we have complex queries, every time writing the same code and executing it, touching the original code, it's not a good thing. That is where we will create a view on top of the written queries. Okay. So that is where we'll write the views and materialize used on top of the complex queries so that they will be very much helpful to us. And stored procedures, okay, they will give some dynamic nature to the SQL queries where we'll send some parameters so that it will throw the results according to the parameters. Okay, basically we are giving some dynamic nature to the SQL query. Later, the concept of triggers will help us to track the DML operations that we perform on database tables. When we say the DML operations, so basically it is all about inserting the data, deleting, updating the data. So all these operations will be stored in a separate table The simple example that I can give over here is that if you have another database, okay, so generally there is a tendency that names may go wrong, database may go wrong. So if you want to update it, there is a limit to update it. Okay. So that time they are not allowing us to update, but how they are storing this number of updates. If I try to update my name third time, they don't allow us because they are storing our operations over there. When I try to do the same thing third time, they will check the history table how many times I have updated my name. If it is more than two, then it's not going to allow me. Okay. On top of that, the important topic that we need to understand here is that the query optimization techniques. Here, under this, we'll learn the concept of indexing and we'll try to understand the written queries by using explain and explain analyze statements so that we'll understand which query is taking much time in order to give the same results out of two queries given. Okay. Hope you got it. Hope you got it. This is going to be like a four most important topic for you. Okay. Yeah, this is the ladder that you can see here, all the concepts that are very much important, so that we can start learning all these topics in order, okay? So that you are going to master these particular topics. I'm going to build the topics within this playlist in the same order that I have specified, okay? The videos are going to be like more quality in nature. When I say that quality, the quality of the content, more understandable way. Raise your questions over there. I'm going to work on your questions. I'll get back to you faster in order to solve your questions. More you question, better the knowledge flow. So we are in the era of AI where GPT can give us a solution. But if we don't understand the results thrown by it, so what's the use? That is why still fundamentals play a crucial role in learning. Use the GPT as a tool to make your learning faster. That's it. Hope you got it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe. Don't forget.